Yet another unfortunate situation where an athlete is at the height of his career and he's being accused with allegations that just simply don't mean to make sense. Now, I don't want to make it seem like I'm being biased toward this woman. I listened to the whole story. I watched all her videos to make sure that I understood what she was saying, because at the end of the day, look at Chris from Mr. Beast, look at EDP, look at Dr. Disrespect. We can't sit here and act like guys don't do stupid stuff at the top of their career. You get what I'm trying to say? But this story doesn't add up. A lot of things in this story simply doesn't add up. And the fact that he doesn't speak English would make it extremely hard for him to defend himself. And more importantly, we have to also look at it from a split point of view. Yes, he could just be a weirdo, but at the same time, he's at the very top of his career. Would this not be the best time for you to start accusing him of something? So let's get into the story. She says that her friend was meeting up with his trainer or translator, and essentially Alex asked the translator if the girl he was meeting up with had a friend for Alex. This is the girl. This is where the girl who allegedly got assaulted enters the equation. They send the picture to Alex, and he says, Shama. Now, we all know that's Alex's catchphrase. He always says Shama. I say Shama. We all say Shama. You get what I'm trying to say? It's just like a thing. Shama. But at the end of the day, that was odd to me. It's like, okay, I'm pretty sure you know the lore behind that. It's possible that he could have said it, but it's very odd. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, he's asking, do you have a friend? She sends the friend. He says Shama. Okay, cool. Let's see. So she starts explaining the story, and something that she was very adamant about is that she didn't ask for the pictures that we see with her and Alex. He asked for them. She made that so clear, and this is where it really started to get weird for me, right? Because the first time she mentions that, by the way, the reason I'm hesitant to post clips, like if you guys don't see me posting clips, let me remove the weight. If you guys don't see me posting clips in this video, it's simply because I don't want this video to get taken down. She can easily be like, oh, you know, I used her face or her video footage or whatever. And I'm just, it doesn't make sense to risk that when this is something that's very important to me. This is actually a very important topic, and you guys can, the videos are like 8-10 minutes each. So if I don't have clips, that's exactly why. But the first time she mentions it, she says that he does it all the time. Like they planned it out, they planned the whole thing out, and he does it all the time. She just throws that out there as if she knows that, as if somebody else had also came forward and told her this. So you would think, oh, okay, so how does, you know, like who else? That's what I was waiting to hear when she said he does it all the time. I'm like, oh, so who else have you spoken to about this that said that they have also had this this happen to them? But essentially her story is, after the pictures were sent, they were invited out, basically, like they basically linked up. It was essentially a two-man from what I'm hearing. She was supposed to be with Alex, and then her friend was going to be with his trainer. So after she says the whole he does this all the time thing, and the story progresses, she also says that he had forced himself, like he had tried to kiss her earlier in the day before the fight even took place. He tried to kiss her, and she made it clear that she wasn't interested in that way. So at that point, it's still pretty believable. I'm being honest with you. Like, I don't care about, I'm a big UFC fan, but I'm not biased. I'm not going to sit here and be like, okay, that's completely off. Like, maybe he did try to kiss her. Maybe he thought she was coming there for a reason. And if she didn't like that, fine. You know, that makes perfect sense. But like I said, as I explain more of the story, it gets extremely weird, and it just starts to not make any sense. So one thing that she was adamant about after the fact, like after she explained how, you know, he tried to kiss her, and that she was also, well, actually, she was extremely adamant about the fact that he tried to order them drinks, or that they actually did order her and her friend drinks, and that her friend wasn't even 21 yet. She was so, like, that was something that she kept pointing out, like, he's ordering a 20-year-old girl drink. So I'm like, okay, all right, let's hear you out. She goes on to say that she did not ask for those pictures. He asked for those pictures, and she said that shit with passion. She said that more passionate than anything else that she said throughout the story. So let's just assume that she was actually right about that. He asked for the pictures. Where she completely annihilated any, like this being factual in my head, is when she went on to say he asked for the pictures because they probably were like a trophy, because he does this all the time, probably. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like, okay, so then now that's proving that the first time you said he does it all the time, like, there was no facts behind that. You're just saying he does this all the time. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, you're just throwing that out there. which is already a lie. If no one has actually told you, came forward and said that this is their experience with him as well, you're lying. That's my whole point. So you're already lying. We haven't even gotten halfway through the story yet. So she explains that the reason that she wasn't okay with this is I think this is still before the fight, if I'm not mistaken. It could be after the fight, but it could be before. No, I'm pretty sure this was before the fight. She explains that the reason that she wasn't okay with him trying to kiss her is because she doesn't know him that well, which also makes completely perfect sense. Who are we to say that she was automatically with it? You get what I'm saying? That makes sense. You don't know him that well. So I want y'all to keep that in mind, because how are you going to say you weren't willing to kiss the man because you don't know him that well, but then in the literal next sentence or two speak about how his response to that was, yes, this was before the fight. This was 100% before the fight, because he goes on to say allegedly that he likes her and her friend and will fly them out to the Dominican Republic. And she responds, well, I don't have a passport, so when are we going to do this? Let me know so I can pack. That's odd. That's very strange to me. So you're not comfortable with this dude enough to do, whatever you clearly came there for. They say she's a TikTok star. She mentioned her line of work. I don't know if she does OF. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys. I don't know. She probably does, but who the hell knows? But you're not comfortable enough to go there on a legit two-man and I guess do what apparently your friend was there to do, but you're comfortable with him flying you out the country. Like, if your moral compass was that high, you wouldn't want him to fly you out the country first. Like, either what happened to dates, what happened to going out to dinner? You get what I'm trying to say? Like, that's what I would assume her thought process would be. I don't want you to fly. Why would I want to be out the country with you? You have all the money. That's even less safe being out the country with you. You get what I'm saying? Right after she explains that story, she swears on it. She's like, I don't want his money. I don't need his money. I don't care if I get any money out of this. No one asked. Like, this is her direct next sentence after explaining that she doesn't have a passport. He offered to fly them out, so she was curious when the date would be. Keep in mind how uncomfortable she already is. This man already tried to make advances on you, allegedly, and you're willing to go out the country with, like, it just, nothing makes sense here. So where it gets extremely, we're just digging ourselves into a way deeper hole with this story. Because then she goes on to say, despite all of these things, like, he already made advances, all of these things already happened, it was clear what you were there for and what you didn't want to partake in. Her and her friend, they take an Uber to meet Alex and his trainer in a hotel. I'm just not understanding. Like, I don't get it. Now, she did mention that her and her friend made a promise to not leave each other, which I have seen, and I think that's always a great idea. If you're going out on a double date, why would you ever? And if you're both uncomfortable, which is something that she also mentioned, that her and her friend was uncomfortable, I guess they're still going to the hotel. But anyway, their whole thing was, we're gonna stick together, and I think that's amazing advice. If you ask me, I think that's what all girls should do when they go out. You should never, I don't care if you met the hottest guy on the planet, do not leave your friend behind with some random dude y'all just met. I'm 100% on their side with that. But then she says that their plans that Alex had communicated with them was that they were going to be going out to the strip club and things of that nature. Your friend is 20 years old. Wasn't that your whole thing? Like, why is he asking her to put him on with a girl that's that young? And why are they buying y'all drinks if you guys are 20? Wasn't that your whole stance? Is that, like, your friend is 20 and I don't know how old she is, but the fact that you guys were young. So you popped out to his hotel to go to the strip club, but you're trying to make it seem like on a moral level he was 100% wrong for the drinks, which we don't even know if that was actually a thing. I'm not saying it wasn't, but we don't know. How does that make sense? How does that make any sense to you? It doesn't make sense to me. None of this makes sense, bro. So, like, I'm just saying, if that was your whole thing, would you not also think to yourself, the strip club with this old man? Would that not be something on your mind? The strip club, y'all first drinks, putting me on, and then now you're trying to go to the strip club? No, like, come on, man. You was magically okay with that despite everything. It's inconsistencies. How does that make sense? if the age was such an issue, the strip club should have been also on that list of things where it's like, why would I go? Like, how does this even make? You get what I'm trying to say? She then goes on to say that Alex was laying down. Alex's trainer slash translator was in the room, and Alex, obviously. And Alex was laying down, and Alex asked her to get into bed with him. Now, I want you to keep in mind all of the things that had already happened that had made her uncomfortable. Now they're in this hotel, and Alex asked her to get in bed with him. So, because, by her words, she said because she was naive at this big age, she's so naive that she ignored all of these other things, she got into the bed with him. Her friend was still there. This is where it gets insane. This is where your head is gonna freaking blow. Like, if this is true, they better not be friends anymore, because wow. Her friend was still there. What happened was her and her friend got very tired. This is her words. Like, this is her words. I'm not making this up. Her and her friends got very tired. So they opted to go to sleep in the bed next to these two men. But they weren't expecting anything to happen. Now, look, at this point, to me, it just sounds like y'all had a night out. I'm not gonna lie. Y'all had a night out. Y'all did what y'all needed to do. This is the UFC champion. You probably didn't know exactly who he was before. But then after you looked it up, you saw how famous he was. And because what? Like, where does this make any sense? And it gets even crazier. It gets even crazier because despite their promise not to separate from each other and both of them being uncomfortable and all of these things, Alex says that he wants the trainer and her friend to leave. And yes, the trainer leaves, but also her friend leaves. And if the trainer wasn't on any weird shit, right, would that not be the opportunity for her friend to be like, oh, hell no. You hear what I'm trying to say? Like, y'all made the decision to stay in there together. And let's say her friend felt threatened and made it out. She said nothing about the trainer doing anything to her friend to keep her, to make her nervous or scared or anything of that nature. And she said that the trainer did nothing. So if the trainer is not doing anything and her friend made it out safely, is that not the perfect opportunity to alert the authorities or call the hotel downstairs or make it very like, yo, something is happening. This is an emergency. We need someone to go help my friend. You just left your friend after all of these things. And you get what I'm trying to say? So it's like, okay, you could have been naive going to the hotel, but then going his bed. Like, no matter how much excuses you try to make for her, after a while, it just sounds like complete BS. Like, bro, what? I keep saying that as I'm reading through this story because it's just like, okay, yeah, your friend just left you and did nothing about it. Not saying that doesn't happen. We've all heard stories of this happening. It does happen. Friends even set their own friends up for these things to happen. But the point I'm trying to get to is how coincidental that all of these things happened prior, and some way, somehow, you end up in this position, right? After just ignoring so many crazy signs and you were already uncomfortable, and then your friend makes it out the room. Your friend makes it out the room just perfectly fine. And she's not being harassed by the trainer and does nothing to try to help you. We have phones. You know what I'm trying to say? That we have phones. You could text 911. She could have called 911. She could have left. They didn't. She specifically pointed out that the trainer did nothing because that's not who she wants. That's not who the money is going to come from. And I'm just so sick and tired of seeing athletes reach the top of their career and have to deal with this shit. It's not my life. It's not my life, but does that story make sense to you? I don't want to make it seem like I'm just being biased. I watched the 8-minute video, the 10-minute video, and the 25-second video of the post on TikTok. I've watched all of these. I went on TikTok. I've watched all of it. And that's and bro, like I said, Dr. Disrespect, I loved Dr. Disrespect, but there's facts. There's facts that he was he even admitted that he texted an underage girl. So guess what? You're a creep, bro. I'm sorry. Nothing I could do for you. I enjoyed your content. Still do. I'm not gonna lie. But I'm not gonna sit here and defend him. You're weird. That's weird, buddy. There's nothing I could do about that. This makes no sense. So it's not about being biased. I sat here, I did my due diligence, and it simply doesn't make sense. So my question is, chat, I'm not streaming right now, but YouTube, whoever sees this video, does that make sense to you? And once again, I'm sorry I don't have the clips of the videos up. I'm gonna see if I can do them, but I gotta see if she's taking down people's videos, because I can already tell if this is a money ploy, why would she want this video up? My best shot is to not put any clips up, but I can link them all if you guys need them and can't find them. So just let me know in the comments what you think. Do you believe it? And let's make this a discussion, man, because it's not making sense to me. Nothing's adding up.